Hey yo, it's Maple Dough. Hey, how's it going, homies? I hope you're doing freaking amazing today. We have a second video for you. Heck yeah, the second part of this big collab project. And we will go over another big bunch of questions just for you because you deserve to know what it's like to be trans, what it's like to live through this big journey. Whether you're questioning, just curious, or you just like furry content, well, you are welcome here. Heck yeah. So let's not waste more time and let's continue with the questions. Heck yeah. So for a lot of people, they want to start a journey. They want to start a journey as a transgender. They don't know how to access HRT. So let's actually ask our guests how they did access to HRT.
Luckily, when I was first trying to access HRT, I had moved to Sammamish, Washington, where it's actually consent only needed. So I was able to go into Planned Parenthood there. They asked me some questions just to make sure that I knew what I was talking about and that I knew the risks of the medication. And about a week later, they were able to sign off on it, and I was able to get my first dose of HRT, which in the United States is spironolactone and estradiol.
So, this is an interesting one. I'm from the Netherlands, as I said. Our healthcare system is swamped. I've been waiting for 2 years for a normal psychiatrist, and I'm still on a waiting list with no options for the future yet. So I am actually buying estradiol injections from a home brewer.
I haven't gotten to HRT yet because the system in Finland takes a very long time to get to that point. I've actually been waiting for 3 years. I am waiting to get a call to actually get a referral to get to HRT, which should happen in the next 5 months.
So in my country, it was actually really simple. First, I talked to my primary care physician through my lovely American insurance, and he pretty much said, thank goodness, it was very kind. He just said, that's not really something I know how to answer. You might want to talk to your friends and contact who they know. And I was like, all right, Planned Parenthood it is. So called Planned Parenthood, got something set up, had a meeting, had a second meeting, bam, I got it. So if you have Planned Parenthood or an equivalent, hopefully wherever you are, usually they should be really good about helping you.
I went on a website because I went and told my doctor first, and he told me there was a website I can access, which was Transcare BC, and I basically sent them a letter being like, hey, I need a doctor, I need to access this, like hormones, and they kind of hooked me up with a nurse practitioner who helped me get my HRT meds and is now my doctor now.
So a lot of people have been on HRT, some have not. And it's perfectly fine. You don't need to be on HRT to be valid. You don't need to have a surgery to be valid. You are valid and beautiful as you are, you beautiful being. Heck yeah. But you know what's even better? We want to know sometime, for how long? For how long have they been transitioning? Let's hear what they have to say.
I think when I fully decided to come out in 2019, I have been transitioning since. So I wear the clothes that I like, I wear my hair the way that I like, I wear male avatars, so I am male presenting. I just haven't medically transitioned yet, but in other ways I have transitioned.
I have not started my transition yet. I'm still waiting for the first file of estrogen to arrive.
Even though I haven't done any HRT, I haven't transitioned physically. I have started transitioning in terms of socially and societally, because all of my social accounts, my internet existence only exists as a woman. I don't exist as I used to before. So I have transitioned online as far as I can.
3 months about to the day. It's gonna be like in a few days, it'll be 3 months.
For transitioning, I'm in my second year. I think we're approaching my third year coming up soon, but I've been on HRT for over 2 years now, and also socially presenting as well outside of my home as a woman.
So in the first video, we've been talking about transition goals. But since some of them have been going through a transition for quite a bit of time, they might have been able to achieve some goals. So what goals have they been able to achieve for the transition?
Well, my first real goal that I was able to achieve was growing out my hair, because for the longest time my family, like my parents, would not let me go more than a month without a haircut, because my mom complained about how it would get messy, it would be hard to maintain, wouldn't look good on me, and I knew there was something wrong there. I didn't understand why. And I pushed until they gave up and let me just grow it out, and I have been so much happier with my hair ever since. It's felt so much more relieving to just not see the short hair every day.
Yeah, I've been able to achieve some of my transition goals. I'm definitely more comfortable with myself. With the HRT, I can see my facial features changing a bit. I've now got a C cup, not too visible because of my bit of personal build, but they're there. Thicker thighs. I've started to get a bit of an ass. I have a group of friends that have been wonderful to me, and they accept me for who I am, despite the fact that I still haven't completely perfected my voice yet.
Being able to wear my hair the way that I like, being able to wear the clothes that I like, not having to wear dresses or anything like that has been absolutely amazing. My husband uses the proper pronouns, my roommate uses proper pronouns. It has been just absolutely wonderful.
In terms of online transitioning and the transitioning of only being seen as a female by my friend groups and everyone who I associate with, yes.
Absolutely. I've definitely developed a bit more of the chest I was hoping for. I think my skin's a little softer. It's kind of hard to tell. But I still have many more to go. But I don't know, so far so good.
Yes, 100% yes, and that's a lot of like what happens when you're on AHRT. A lot of the goals happen, especially with developments in your chest area, or how you feel on the inside too. It kind of mentally helps you align yourself. It feels good, as well as like streaming has helped me like with my voice changing, because I always try to talk like a little bit higher and practice even higher, so it's helped me with that. So those are some good things, yeah.
So, in the first video, we have been talking about euphoria, how it was manifesting for themselves. But now, since they have been transitioning, since they have been progressing in their journey, usually the euphoria is changing. It's usually more present, sometimes it's as much present, but usually it changes its form. So let's hear what they have to say.
Yes, for various, the euphoria is more present now for various reasons. The fat region is nice. Thighs have gotten thicker, ass has gotten bigger. It's an odd feeling of euphoria when you rip your pants and you're like, oh, that must be because the fucking medicine's working. Other than that, you can see the results more after you shave, and it just feels wonderful.
So, VR chat plays a big part in a lot of my transitioning because there's only so much that I can do in real life without medically transitioning. So, picking up models like this one, and putting it to where it has like the scars and just dressing it up in the ways that I would want to dress in real life and stuff like that has created such a euphoria. The day that I picked up this model and a few of my other models, I ran around and was like, guys, look at me, I feel absolutely amazing, I can't even, I
would say yes. Every time I'm in VR, I feel like myself. Every time I interact with people online, I feel more like myself. that's one of the reasons why I like VR so much. And you know, I drown myself in online content because that's where I live. That's where I live.
Yeah, a little bit, absolutely. Like if I look in the mirror, I definitely feel a little bit more what I was going for, a bit of like a feminine plus masculine androgyny. Just mix it up. It's definitely getting there, and having a lot of like friends and mutuals who I can like bounce off of, or I don't know, make them feel like they like looking at me or like me. I'm gonna keep it light, you know what I mean? It feels really good. That's very euphoric.
Definitely yes. Now that I have access to HRT, friends who help me, clothing now, it's definitely more helpful. I'm more like courageous about going out. I feel more beautiful, and like I said, like the whole thing is about aligning my outside with my inside, and I'm closer to that now than ever. So I definitely feel much more euphoric now accessing, you know, HRT and whatnot.
You know, yes, you had the euphoria. It's very great. But there's also the dysphoria. It's changing. Very often, a lot less present. Or it's moving. Sometimes you're feeling things a certain way, and then it's changing. Let's hear what they have to say.
For me, it's gotten a lot better. It's still the same feelings that come up, but they are in a much more diminished capacity. And I think that's mostly because I found a group of friends and a group of people that accept me for who I am and accept that I feel this way about myself, instead of admonishing me for it.
It does. I will occasionally wear a female avatar because, like most people, I can appreciate beautiful things. There have been a lot of beautiful avatars that have been coming out, and I'll wear them occasionally from time to time. And I actually had a friend tell me, who's been friends with me for a long time, you can't expect people to get your pronouns right when you wear avatars like that. That hit really hard, and I'll still wear female avatars, but honestly not as much anymore, because every time I do now, it's kind of ruined for me.
I think it's a big contributor to my depression as well. I suffer from clinical depression, and I've always done that. So it's a big factor in that. Every time I'm not in VR, every time I'm not, I have to be myself for my parents or for those of my family that don't know who I really am. It takes a toll. So yes, it's also there.
Definitely less. I'd say the only dysphoria is just, like I said, the ideas of like, is this the right idea? Is it working? Because like, I mean, obviously no one really goes in looking into HRT to see if they can cure a chronic skin condition. But I really do keep, you know, washing my scalp, being careful, and going, I really hope I see a good, even just a little change. Even if I have an extra day of relief, that's what I'm hoping for.
It's gotten a bit less. I think as more time you're on HRT and embracing yourself as a woman, it's definitely less. As I'm waiting for surgery though, that part of the dysphoria down there is still much there, but it's kind of muted in a way where, yeah, I still feel bad about it, but because everything else feels really good now, I can focus on that more versus the dysphoria.
A big part of the journey is the hormonal therapy, the hormonal replacement therapy. In other words, the HRT. Whether you're going through a transition from male to female, female to male, or to be trans non-binary. Well, sometimes some people are going through surgeries. Have they gone through surgeries?
No, I have not personally gone through any surgery at this point. It's in the plans for the future, but not as of yet. Money's an obstacle.
Not yet. That's something in the far future, since I have to save up for it myself.
No, none. At least not anything that has anything to do with transitioning.
No, not surgeries. Unless, I mean, it's kind of something funny I'll bounce off of is I haven't gotten any surgeries for myself like that. But I have had cosmetic work done technically, because I would say that being someone with many tattoos on my body actually does help me with my euphoria and how I want to represent myself. I'll actually go long-winded on this one to say I realized something that I really enjoy is when I used to go out, unless I try to wear something a little extra, dress up a bit, I feel like whether or not it's true, I feel like I would be weird. Someone might see me and go, why is that person wearing a crop top? But now that I have, as silly as it sounds, now that I have tattoos all over my body, I feel like if someone looks at me, they go, yeah, of course someone like that would be wearing a crop top. They're extra already. They're covered in tattoos, they got earrings, they got long hair on one side, and it helps me, at least, with my, euphoria, my mental idea of what I want to do and how I want to represent myself. So no operations, but there has been cosmetic work.
So this is my favorite questions, and I hope it's going to help a lot of you questioning, a lot of you just starting your journey as a transgender. So I want to ask our guests, what are the things you wish you would have known before transitioning?
I wish I knew more trans people. Basically, I wish I'd been in the community earlier. Because as soon as I fleshed it out for myself, I look back through my life oh, the signs were all there. I just wasn't educated or exposed enough to LGBTQ culture and the people, and I never really truly got that until putting myself out on the internet. So, I wish I'd known that, 10 years ago, and I would be well into my transition now.
There are a couple of things I wish I knew before transitioning. First is that it's going to affect your sleep. It is going to affect your sleep in some way. It's different for each person, but for me, it caused terrible insomnia for the first month, and each time that I increased the dose. The second thing is that at some point, about 4 to 8 months in, you will need to start wearing a bra whether or not you've gotten breasts, because ow, anytime that anything touches them, it will be painful. Anytime that anything touches your nipples, it will be painful.
How hard it is to transition when you don't have insurance in the United States. Finding resources is extremely hard, and I only just recently, in the last 2 years, finally found a way, because somebody finally informed me how to go about finding those resources. But it's been 5 or so years until now I'm finally learning where I can go, because these resources aren't available, weren't publicly available.
I don't know, you tell me. That's something I want to know. That's something more people need to know. Things you wish you knew before you started the entire process.
I'd have to say how accepting people are. I was afraid of coming out. I was afraid of transitioning even my online profile, because I was afraid what people might think. And yes, there's always the counterbalance. There's always the people who don't accept you. There's always the hate. That exists. But then again, it exists no matter what you do. But the love and the support I've received especially from the furry community, I wish I would have known how significant that is.
I weirdly actually was told everything that I know, that's happening right now. I was actually laid out all the stuff. Natey, your breasts are going to develop and you can't go back. Your some parts might shrink, some parts might work less or not at all. Your emotions might flare up. You're not guaranteed to have better skin everywhere or oil, but it could happen. I can't think of anything that actually surprised me yet, really. The only thing that surprised me is that the things I want or I'm looking forward to happening haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm hopeful and I think they are getting there. So, no, if anything, I just wish that this was easily more available a long time ago and I didn't wait this long, but I'm also happy I'm doing it now. So that's the good part.
Before I transition, I think the resources, because I think once you figure out there's something wrong with your gender, you kind of freak out as what do I need or what do I do? So I think I wish I had it was hard because at the start I didn't really have any friends who were like this, so I had to do all the research on my own. So it would be it'd be nice if there was more awareness around different resources on how to get doctors or how to go through your surgeries and stuff like that. Now, luckily, because in the middle of transition, you know, I've learned about it now. But yeah.
So transitioning a part of it, a big part of it. Yes, of course, is the hormone. Yes, of course, is a surgery. Yes, of course, is this and that. But transitioning is a lot more than just the hormones. Much more than just that. Because you have also the social transitioning. Yep. Social transitioning, societal transitioning is a thing. How are they dealing with that?
Back in November, I think, was when I really wanted to transition outside of the internet. I mean, first thing was just getting the name I'd like to go by out there, which, you know, I'm having people call me Kay in real life now, and it feels so much better. But getting that out there was difficult because I had to tell every single person I knew. The hardest part was opening up to my coworkers because, you know, those are people I had to work with, and I saw them all the time at work, and you know, I had lucked out. I mean, I'm not working there anymore, but my old job was a lot of trans people worked there, so I knew it was gonna be fine. Like, I knew it was gonna be accepting, but there's still a thing in the back of my mind where I was like, well, what if it's not? What if they're confused? I wrote out a text to the work chat, and I couldn't do it. I was shaking, and my friend did it for me. She was just like, you know what, I'm doing it, and then press send, and the amount of, you know, accepting and lovely replies I got, that was a great evening. But that was hard.
I personally don't really deal with social transitioning that much. I'm fairly butch myself. I still like masculine clothing. I am going to have to switch to feminine pants now because of my ass, but other than that, I pretty much just wear the same clothes that I used to. And it's because I live in a fairly unaccepting area, I just, for the most part, just put my hair forward to hide the breasts and just sort of go about the life that I had before. I understand it's not, I think that's a little bit unfair, but I can be happy that way, especially when so many people aren't. But that is how it is for me.
Wearing avatars, using voice mods in large group settings definitely helps because I go to a lot of meetups. And most people don't know my pronouns right off the bat, and unfortunately nobody takes the time to read bios much. So using those definitely helps, but I just tell people, like, if they say the wrong pronouns, I'll just say a quick, just as a heads up, my pronouns are he, him, and then we move on. And it usually works. They still occasionally get it wrong, but again, I can't expect people that only just met me to get my pronouns right off the bat. And I have supportive friends that if I'm not paying attention and someone does misgender me, they'll do the same thing. They're not mean about it. They'll just be like, hey, just as a heads up, Melon's pronouns are he, him. And they'll go, oh, okay, and we move on. And it's been great.
Boy moding until male failing. I am just going to boy mode until I just cannot hide it anymore, and after that point, I'm just gonna come out with it. But at least at that point, I'll be on HRT for a few months and could pass easier.
Social transitioning is a funny concept these days because you have the online and you have the offline. I have transitioned in both ways socially. I may not present exteriorly, but I am always socially myself. Which causes some fun moments because I tend to make a lot of noises. And most of my friends are kind of like, could you like not howl in the middle of the train station? But yes.
That can be a tough one because even now, I still get a little bit afraid of wearing certain clothing out in public just because I'm afraid, like, I mean, on one hand, I don't care what people think about me, but on the other hand, I don't want to be walking around in public and I have like 4 people staring at me just because my midriff is showing, and I love crop tops, you know. So that's one problem for me at least. But something that's always helped is if I'm even with just one friend, just one, and then I'd wear whatever I want because then I have my friend to bounce off of. And I think it's just walking around alone. I'm afraid to dress up. I want to be with somebody when I do it.
For social transitioning, I present online, obviously as female, but also in person. I do makeup. I dress in. I've purchased clothes like online because I was afraid at first purchasing clothes in person, and then I kind of dress up and present and go out like that. I also take pictures of myself and post them online to get compliments.
So everybody is going through their journey. It's really incredible to hear what they have to say so far, and I love their answer. I absolutely love their answers. What I want to know now is a little bit more about everybody's little experience. I want to know a little bit about everybody's journey, because everybody's journey is different, amazing, fascinating, and I want you to hear about them. So here we go.
My experience with transitioning has been an absolutely wonderful one. When I first started, I had a fairly accepting workplace. I was around people that were generally accepting of it. I didn't let too many people know, but the people that did know were there for me 100%. All of the effects I've gotten from the HRT have been wonderful, other than the insomnia. However, when I came out to my family, it was another story. I had to be away from them for about a year before they finally accepted me and let me back into their lives. And from my knowledge, that's actually a fairly common experience. But sometimes given time, they still can warm back up to you.
There's the occasional worrying about, like, when I leave the house about my safety, because there are still some people, even if I'm in the libertarian side of things, like in the States, there's still going to be naysayers, there's still going to be people. And I do get the occasional hate comments, hateful people in my Twitch streams, on my TikTok. But learning that those are just people that you may never see again, and that their opinions don't matter, definitely helps keep my mental state healthy.
My experience so far has been interesting, to say the least. I've been more comfortable presenting feminine online circles, and I've been out twice now with a group of furry friends that are local to me. And I painted my nails and, made sure I didn't have any body hair. I was using my right pronouns, and everybody called me by my, name. So it was really nice. It was comfortable.
My experience actually started from Second Life, where I first decided to make myself girl. And then from there it goes, it went to, well, this is nice. Well, it actually feels a lot more normal than the other things do. And then from there on, it kept escalating. It kept going forward and forward and forward and forward, up until the point where I started actually doing it in real life as well. And in fact, back when I got VR, I have never had a male avatar in VR. I've always associated myself as a woman in VR. I started streaming as a transgender woman in Twitch. I've actually, that has been my biggest outlet of being myself, like ever. And it's also been a very good way for me to basically express myself. So, and it's also given me the insight to the amount of support that you can get in this community. And it has given me a platform to encourage those who are still in the closet or who are wondering to come out and also to be brave.
So far I think the best experience was getting a hold of, I didn't have much trouble getting it started, luckily. I just had a meeting, and the worst part is it took like 3 months to actually get to the meeting. But once I did, it took a week, and then I was already on pills. So the experience so far has been good, trying to make sure I don't forget to take my meds. I'm not doing the shots, I'm doing pills. And Just clockwork like that. And in fact, just the other day, I'm actually upping my dose a little more. So I'm going to be starting that in about 2 days. So be a little more, and we'll see what happens.
For my experience, let me just tell you, starting the journey was scary for a little bit, but it was amazing afterwards. Once I started, I'm on HRT, I got the clothing, I looked up YouTube videos on how to do makeup and stuff like that, and started presenting like out in the real world as a woman. I feel a lot more confident. I'm less embarrassed about things. I'm more out there. I talk to strangers easily. I once got referred to as we'll start with ladies at a restaurant, and I was pointed at, and I didn't even say my gender. So it's definitely improved a lot of my life outside and stuff like that.
Transitioning, yes, is a thing. And for some people, it might be confusing, very confusing. Because they're like, hey, now that I'm transitioning, I used to be male, and I used to be attracted to women. Now that I'm female, and I'm that attracted to male. Yep, you got it. You're straight. Well, yep, transitioning can change a little bit your sexuality, your ways, or perceiving, your attraction to people. And yes, it does change it. It does change it. Not for everyone, but it does change it. So let's hear about our guest's experience.
I've been bi for a while, way before I started questioning my gender, but I think I was leaning towards guys before I questioned my gender, and it's basically flipped. So now I'm more leaning towards girls. I don't know why. I guess it's just I'm gay no matter what, but also, I like the other genders too sometimes.
Transitioning hasn't affected my sexuality that much. I am still a demi-pansexual. However, it does reduce my libido quite a bit when I'm not feeling relationship feelings towards someone.
No. I am just as lewd and active as I was when I have been the same ever since. I heard that when you start to take T shots, your libido's supposed to get more, but because I haven't done that part of the transition yet, I'm unsure. But my libido is still the same. My boyfriend, for context, I am poly. My boyfriend loves me the same. My husband loves me the same. Everything is like it normally is. It hasn't changed much.
I've always been pansexual and panromantic, so not really.
No, it has not. Okay, yes, it has. Actually, wow, okay, we're talking about a whole different thing now. Me transitioning, and as I started transitioning socially and all sorts of other ways, also made me realize that I'm not the straight person that I thought I was, but in fact I am pansexual. So in that way, yes, it has affected me. It actually made me realize that it doesn't matter who you are or what you present. If you are a good person, I love you.
A little bit. I don't think I've lost a libido yet. So not quite there. Does it affect my sexuality of attraction towards people? I would want to say yes, but not recently. I actually had these feelings long ago when I was transitioning. My transitioning really started with hormone replacement. But 2 or 3 years ago, I knew I was genderqueer. I knew I was non-binary. So technically I was already under the trans umbrella. And it really did change then. I started learning more about other people's lives and their bodies, how they work, trans lives, non-binary pronouns, everything. And now I find them extremely attractive and safe. It's safe to, I might be able to trust someone who's also going through the same things I am sexually than someone who might have no idea about it because they might be like, they might have their own hangups about it and they need to learn themselves. So yeah, I'd say definitely there's a lot have changed and it's all for the best. You got to do your research.
I'd actually say no, it hasn't. My sexuality has always remained somewhat on the A spectrum, and my gender has been like a whole different side of it. But even before transitioning, I've always felt I was on the A spectrum. I'm demisexual, and I've kind of always aligned with that most of the time, so yeah.
So yes, this is a big journey. You have the surgeries, you have the HRT, you have the social transitioning, you have all this big thing. This big thing is, oh my gosh, affecting your whole life. It is affecting your whole life. But how did transitioning change their social life? Because it's about them. It's also about everybody's around them.
It hasn't much, to be honest. A lot of my friends just were cool with it and then went right back to how the friendship was before, which is honestly the best outcome, where like people are fine with it, and it just feels like not much changed except my gender. So
I lost some friends. I gained some new ones, and the new ones value me for who I am. It has made getting into clubs, not like nightclubs, but you know, chess clubs, activities with people, more difficult. And I've had to resort to mostly online activities. But for the most part, this has been a great experience.
Honestly, we'll see, because I haven't really started in real life yet, but I'm expecting to be a little bit more extroverted than I am right now.
I lost friends. I lost some of my friends. There weren't many, but I lost a few, and I stopped or completely cut contact with a few. It has made my relationship with my parents more strained. Same with my family. However, on a counter side, because like I say, everything has a counterbalance, I've made new friends. I've made friends who make me feel like myself, and I think I've made some of my best friends ever since I've come out.
I'd say for the better, because like transitioning, you obviously, as we said, you meet a lot more people part of the same community, and then like they understand what you're doing, you understand what they're doing, and you're able to just feel safe and like get positive feedback on what you want. So you end up meeting a lot more people that are either part of the queer community or just like allies, and it means a lot more to you, you know?
I think, like I was mentioning before, it's definitely made improvements where I feel more myself. And usually when you don't feel yourself, you're not as, you know, smiley or happy or, you know, you. And now that I've transitioned, or, you know, I'm on my transition journey still, I feel a lot more me, and I can embrace the things I love a lot easier. It's just a bit scary at first, but once you get past that little hill of I'm scared to do all this, it gets a lot better. It's so much fun.
Our guests have once more a little message for you, and you might really want to hear what they have to say.
I'd tell them that transitioning is difficult for a number of reasons. Choose to transition if and when it feels right to you. You will face obstacles if you decide to, but being able to live with yourself is worth that struggle. Because the one person that you have to wake up with and be with every single day of your life is you. And if you can't be happy with yourself, that's going to affect every one of your other relationships. So make the right decision for you.
Do your research. There are a lot of doctors that are doing things like making TikTok videos to try and get more people to come to their office to transition in their office, and the results have been very bad, and people have had really bad scarring and had severe health problems. So please do your research beforehand.
Okay, so if you're suffering from long waiting lists, and do what I do, go with the do-it-yourself route. be careful. Be really careful. It's not easy. You have to know all the risks, and you have to know all the information. You have to know how to read your blood work. It's really a complicated thing. Do not do it if you're not entirely sure that you can do it.
The journey can be very hard, and it is going to be very hard. There is a lot of uphill. But as with everything, the uphill will eventually end, and then you'll get to a plane, and then you'll start rolling, and it'll get better. Because every day, it'll get better. And you'll finally feel like yourself. And it's all worth it, eventually. No matter how dark it may look, no matter how hard it may look, it'll be worth it at the end.
If you're having curiosities yourself, but you're not sure, do little things. Easiest thing you can do is represent yourself via art, because I'm sure you're part of the furry community, whoever you are out there. Take your persona, or take a character you like, and just play with them in a way that might help you with these ideas you have, whether it's gender and changing outfits or how they look or represent themselves. Then, if you really start feeling it, try it on yourself. Yeah, it might be scary. Just go buy, even online, buy a piece of clothing that's affirming in a way. Wear it at home and look in the mirror. If that doesn't work for you because you might be stuck in your own head, show close friends that trust and love you. Show them it and be like, tell them everything. Tell them how you feel. And I mean, if they're good friends, they're gonna back you up and tell you the truth. And it's gonna feel good to finally tell somebody, because it can help you so much.
First of all, you're trans enough, because I know you're probably going to be struggling with that. If you are questioning your gender, you are trans enough, I promise you. And also embrace yourself. Like I said, it doesn't gotta be a scary journey. Explore. You're gonna find things you like, things you don't like, and the whole journey about discovering your gender is helping you become what you feel like on the inside. And the more closer you get to that and things start aligning, you're gonna feel so much better. So keep it up. You got this, and you have people like me, Maple, and the other people in the video here rooting you on.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it, but I really appreciate even more every single person who decided to accept to participate to this beautiful video for you guys. And for that, here's how you can reach every single one of them.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitch at Kadonono, and on Twitter at Kadonono as well. I may do stuff on YouTube eventually, same username everywhere. But yeah, I do streams on Twitch around twice a week. I do more in the summer, but right now, where school is, it's twice a week. So yeah, hope to see you there.
Yeah, my name is Claire Lontra. I am on Twitter and Twitch. I plan on getting an Instagram account and a Tumblr account set up in the near future. So if you want to check me out, see who I am, you can find me on those socials.
So if you guys want to check out my content, you can check out my links. I'm on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok the most. I have Instagram. It doesn't exist. I don't use it. But these are the three main areas that I will be found at.
So yeah, thank you for interviewing me. And for everybody out there, you're valid, you're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, keep fighting the big fight.
My name is LunaVixi. You can find me from Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I think that's it.
Well, yeah, hi, I'm NateyBeak. I have a Twitch account, it's twitch.tv/NateyBeak. I also have a Twitter, it's also NateyBeak. You might be able to find some other stuff I do on the internet. I do a lot of art, mostly all art. Sometimes I play games. I'm kind of starting to go down a nostalgia kick of remembering my childhood on like what I enjoy. I don't know, you can find me. I'd love to see you there. It's a lot of the stuff I draw on Twitch is very just like this, gender euphoric, body euphoric.
Well, as you know, I'm Diva Panda. You can find me on Twitch as, twitch.tv/Diva Panda. Twitter, I'm also Diva Pandas, and you'll find me on YouTube is that. I have a YouTube as well. TikTok, Instagram, and Tumblr. It's Diva Panda.
So thank you guys. I will see you in the next video. We're starting a new video series. I will be with you for some more really amazing adventures. So guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow on Twitch, follow on Twitter, follow everywhere. All the links are here and also in the description. Same goes for every single content creator you want to be able to join. So guys, I will be seeing you soon. Love you. You're amazing. Bye bye. Like, you're not there, but you're there. But when you're gonna be watching that, you will hear me, but I will not be there. Mind game. We're gonna take that out of context for a blooper. It's great.
Those are all bloopers from like 2 or 3 recordings. Because I can't keep my shit straight, and every time I was trying.
I know
super hard not to
you
make
cannot get
jokes.
your shit straight. You're a pan.
Oh god, I'm so not straight. I can't even fucking drive straight.